Hi, it's Phil Lindsay here with Peep Magazine, and we're here at Revolution Bar with Steve Wraith.
You're right.
Time for Revolution, as they have it. And we're ahead of the New Kids on the Block show this Friday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the headaches and the build-up, because this has taken some making, this one, hasn't it?
It's took a lot of organisation. The boxing and the pro boxing scene hasn't been to Morpeth for 85 years, so we did anticipate that. But we finally ticked all the boxes. It's been a little bit difficult, but we've got there in the end with the help of the area council and obviously the good people in Morpeth and the guys at Riverside Lodge. We're finally ready to rumble. And
a few days to go, it's already a sellout, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's good. We've chosen a small venue deliberately, because we obviously didn't know the strength of Danny Wall and in his own backyard.
Yeah.
He could have sold this place out on his own. There's no doubt about that. He's an exciting fighter. He just wants to get his pro debut out the way.
Yeah.
But he did want it in his hometown, and there's no problem with that with me. Going out to different venues, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's no doubt about that. And for me to take boxing back to the outskirts of Newcastle is something which I could never have dreamed of 3 years ago when I turned pro, but everyone's excited about it already. He's the talk of Morpeth, and I'm sure he'll put on a great show on Friday.
I think it's good to be taking a show further north as well, because I think in terms of the pro shows, the furthest north we've really had it is the O2 Academy.
Yeah.
The Lancastrian Suite, the Gateshead shows, but there's a few guys turning over. There's quite a lot of boxing happening up in the Northumberland sort of region, so it's good to have a pro show a bit further north as well.
New Big in Ashington, especially have churned out some good fighters over the years, and obviously got a few lads up there now. So from our point of view, to take the boxing up there makes sense. As well as keeping our regular shows going in Newcastle and Gateshead, to maybe get out into the outskirts and do them in different places has always been it's always been on my mind. But now to have fighters that we can put on there, it makes sense, and rather than going for quantity, just going for quality as well at times. But it's a mixed show rather than a dinner show. There's 120 diners on the night, but also a decent crowd of boxing punters there as well, who are just going for the fight. So looking forward to it. Nice to be able to say a Steve Wraith show is a sellout for a change, and looking forward to it. I know the boxing board. I was in front of the council on Sunday just to go over some formalities, but I know they're looking forward to it as well.
So tickets sold out. You've got the new grown or the regrown hair, which you're not going to be pulling out this time, thankfully.
I got accused of being like Don King about 12 months ago, so I just thought I'd go with Don King.
Just don't stick your finger in the plug socket, you'll be all right. Yeah. So the show's New Kids on the Block. We've got Danny Wall's first fight.
Three debuts. You got Danny Wall obviously making his pro debut alongside Mark White and Paul Gidney. Mark obviously boxes from the Fighting Chance gym. Yeah. Paul Gidney's under Mal Gates' stable. And then obviously a familiar face in English Northern area and Commonwealth champion Anthony Babyface Nelson making a return. So, all in all for the good people of Morpeth, 4 cracking fights. Doors open 6 o'clock. Weigh-ins at 6:30, and then the first fight's on at 7:45. And I'm looking forward to it. It's just nice to be able to get back out there after a little bit of time out, which we didn't expect. Yeah. But we'll be out quickly again after that.
Yeah, well, obviously just talking off camera before the interview, and you were saying it was a show. Is it penciled in or penned in for next month?
It's already booked in. Tickets are getting printed today. We have Sudden Impact, which will be on at the Lancastrian Suite, and that's on a Saturday the 17th of October. Obviously, because of the small venue that we're using in Morpeth, we couldn't get everybody out who wanted to get out there. I say small, we've still got over 400 people, crammed in on Friday night. But obviously, the Lancastrian Suite's somewhere which boxing fans in the North East know well. Obviously, a venue we've used in the past anyway. So we're going to get the Fighting Chance fighters out on there. We've confirmed anyway at least 3 of the lads will box on that show, but we'll have more details on that, probably after Friday as to the full lineup. There's obviously fighters fighting on Friday night in Morpeth who will want to get out on that show as well. But we're anticipating certainly anything between 5 and 6 fights for definite on there, and a couple of big names as well. So.
Now, the last time we did an interview was just before the last show, and obviously the troubles you had with that one, and there was a bit of a headache after that one in terms of, we've seen Phil Jeffries go through it where he's been frustrated at times thinking, is it really worth all that? And he even obviously had a spread in the Chronicle. What's your current thought process in terms of moving forward within the boxing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, sometimes it's nice to just be able to get a break away from everybody talking about certain things. So sometimes when you say something on camera, or you say something on, you know, tape, which is then put into print form, I think the old adage is don't believe everything you read in the papers. I just needed to take the heat out of the situation, and that's what I did. And you know, within 24 hours, I'd already booked in, you know, the next 2 shows, and they're already looking at a third one. You know, so from my perspective, you know, I'm still fully focused, but it gave me a little bit of breathing space to stop the phone calls coming, and you know,
Sometimes you need that.
And that's the reason that, you know, that statement was made. But from my point of view, no, I'm, you know, back with a bounce. You know, Morpeth should get us off to a decent start for the back end of the year. Then the Lancastrian Sweet Show, and then depending on Matchroom and Eddie Hearn's plans, you know, hopefully going from that to, you know, another show in South Shields, you know, in November. Date's penciled in at the moment for the 27th of November, and we're going back to Temple Park. But again, a lot of that could change if Eddie Hearn decides to come back up with Matchroom. Is a strong possibility. I think a lot depends on what happens with Bradley on the weekend. Obviously, we'll wish Bradley Saunders the very best of luck, and hope that he's come back through from his injury and he can do the region proud. And then I think Eddie will make his decision then. But you know, that's just me thinking out loud. There's nothing being discussed with Eddie for a few weeks now. But I do think he will be back, and he just wants to pick the right time. It's no good following in the footsteps of other promoters who've come up here and done, you know, 5,000 capacity shows, and then try to come back 8 weeks later, be greedy and have 2,500 people there. You know, Eddie and Matchroom are too wise for that. If it means they don't come back up till early next year, so be it. But it's got to be the right time. And you know, no disrespect to any of the lads locally, but we still need a big name on the top of these cards. Whether it's an Anthony Joshua, whether it's a Kel Brook, you know, who knows? But you know, there is plenty of names that Matchroom have within their stable who they can put on. But it has to be the right time, the right fight, and then the rest will follow. And you know, we're sitting here waiting just to do the undercard whenever Eddie's ready. So you know, I'm looking forward to continuing that relationship with Matchroom, whether it be the back end of this year or the start of next year.
I love it when you just go off on one like that, because I say I've got to ask the questions and things. It's like I'm just having time off here. It's nice and easy. I stood very campy there for a moment. I don't know why that was. So all systems go. Everything going well. Sell out this Friday, so there's no chance of anybody getting tickets for this Friday show?
No tickets at all. No, it's completely sold out. The boxers have obviously, you know, scrambling around for tickets themselves, but there isn't any more. We are tied to how many we can get into that venue. You know, it'd be suicide to have any more in. So looking forward to it. Yeah, we can sell out, and I'm sure that the good people of Morpeth will give us a show to remember. And you know, hopefully, you know, we'll be back up there very soon as well to do a bigger and better venue. You know.
Well, one of the things you've mentioned to me over the 3 years that you've been doing this is that you've been involved in almost like historic sort of moments, like obviously the times with Anthony Nelson, the Resurrection show, all these different things and stuff. But taking boxing back first time in 85 years to Morpeth, again, it's like historic. And it's good to be involved in, but after that, there's going to be a few more things happening, isn't there?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I've got no doubt about it. You know, I think with me, you know, everybody knows I'm quite active and quite busy in everything I do. You know, I think one of my New Year's resolutions will be to focus on 1 or 2 things in particular in 2016. Boxing will certainly be one of them, and you know, I think with the boxing scene as it is at the moment, I would be crazy not to do it. We all know there's no financial gain, or not massive financial gain, within this industry. You know, it doesn't matter what part of the boxing industry you're in, but it is like a drug. You are hooked. And you know, I wouldn't have took a manager's license out if I wasn't thinking about, you know, signing somebody up, and that person will come to my door. You know, the right fighter, the right character will at some stage say, you know what, I'm going to come to Steve Wraith. You know, I'm going to give him a try, because you know, somebody's got to be first. And
well, Danny Wall almost was. If you'd had your manager's licence earlier, he did obviously come and speak to you about that. So,
Tommy, and I can trust Tommy. And you know, there's been no problems there. You know, in the preparation for the first fight, and that's, you know, that's great. You know, it is a one that got away, but at the same time, I've got such a good relationship with Danny Wall that
still, you know, working with him anyway.
I'm still working with him anyway. So from my perspective, yeah, you know, I still see Danny really as my fighter, although he is signed to Tommy. But yeah. There is other Danny Walls out there, and you know, some of them might be watching, you know, the interview now, and you know, I'm quite an easy person to contact. You know, come and have a coffee, come and have a conversation, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, it's 2016. We'll certainly see us make me first signing, I think. But I'm in no rush. Those people have to come to me. I'm not going to go out looking for them.
Champion. Well, we'll do some more interviews, some follow afterwards, and we'll cover it in Peep Magazine, what's going to be happening as well.
Good stuff.
Since I mentioned that the new edition of Peep Magazine is now live, so make sure you check that out.
Yeah.
And watch out for the results from the new Kids on the Block show this Friday. Steve,
Looking forward to it.
best of luck with the show, mate, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks again, mate. Cheers.